Okay, so here we are. I wanted to point out that it's already November, and I also wanted to make sure people understand that if you're new to the challenge or you're kind of not feeling like you're making progress, you are. We are still allowing a lot of time between now and the end of the semester. You can easily catch up. I think a lot of people have been doing activities, but perhaps haven't uploaded them for points. So I wanted to remind people to do that. I wanted to also say that kickoff kits are on the way. I have the two schools that I'm going to be mailing them to you tomorrow. And Kiefer is one of them, and Hilton is the other. Anyone else that hasn't completed the 5 initial steps and wants to talk through that, you just reach out. But your kickoff kit is going to have some poster sets already in there. So we have a Take 5 Before You Drive campaign. There's a set of 6 posters in there that you can put around the school. We have Eyes, Hands, and Mind series, which means keep your eyes on the road, hands on the wheel, and mind on driving. That's its own traffic campaign. And then we have Buckle Up Buttercup. So you'll have all 3 of those arriving, and each of those are also found on our website under the Oklahoma Safe Driving Challenge activities. If you scroll down, you can print your own versions of those and go if you needed more copies than what gets sent to you. And you can also add a lot of other things. And I wanted to also say that Bree's not on here today, but we are available if you're stuck, you want some quick ideas, you want to talk it through really quickly, you can reach out and we will help you get that all figured out. But the main thing is don't forget to submit for points, and we try to keep the leaderboard mostly updated. It is not yet, but we'll be working on that soon. So that's the first part. The second is that I'd like to welcome you officially. Wanted to remind anybody that's on the meeting that you would put your name and the school team. And if there's anyone else, like you're watching it as a group, be sure I get everybody's name. And then otherwise, if you're watching it recorded, also send us an email or do a submission for points and let us know how many people watched that. And then we will also let anybody know who's winning a door prize through your advisor. So we're trying to keep track of who all is participating. So we also want to make sure that you're getting the right number of points for the leaderboard. So keep your eye out for winners. That's coming up next, soon this week, I should say. I wanted to also just bring some attention. I didn't have anybody want to come live. You're all welcome to be our student spotlight and speak for your team. But the Hilton FCCLA in Hilton, Oklahoma, they decided to do something with the Drive Will Go app recruitment. And we have some challenges this year in that students don't have their cell phones during the school day. So it's kind of hard to have them get into an app contest when you can't like help them do it right there. So they did a 1 or 2 day, I'm not really sure how many days they did it, but they set up a nice little booth and they got people as they were coming in the front door, and they really tried to get as many people in, and they're going to get some bonus points for that. So I thought I'd give them a shout out. This is how they approached it. Well, maybe other people had other ways of doing it. The Drive Will Go app itself, I thought I would give you some updates on how the contest is going so far. We're really happy to say that we have over 300 students involved in the app contest. That's great. We would love to have more. There's already been $350, actually more than that, in prizes we've sent out. We have, reminding you, we have 2 daily winners, just have to be somewhere on one of the leaderboards to qualify. We give away 2 $20 gift cards. We picked 2 today. We'll pick 2 more tomorrow, every day, Monday through Friday for the entirety. Always have a chance to win by just being in the contest. I wanted to also remind you that round 1 will end on Friday, and that's where we will have our first 4 $100 winners. And the neat thing about that is that the leaderboard on the app contest will have a reset. It does not mean your data is gone, because if you've been in, that'll stay behind the scenes, but we'll have a reset, and anybody, all bets are off. Anybody can get right to the top of the board again, and we'll have 2 more rounds every 2 weeks where we'll give away another 4 $100 winners. So it's kind of like a fresh start. If you weren't doing so hot now, you can do pretty well the next round. So it's a great opportunity. I wanted you to make sure that that's a reason for people to still get involved, is that they would still qualify for that. The other thing is we're having a little bit of difficulty. We kind of need to know what school people are from. And so we asked them to include their school name in their username or in their email. And we have quite a few students who don't have either. So they're just mysteries to us. And what we really need is, we need them to identify themselves so we can kind of account for what schools they come from, so we can award bonus points, and so that we can also do our counts correctly. So if you have any ideas on how we can get some students to get their schools identified, please send them to me, because I have tried several things and I'm still not getting 100%. I'd still like to at some point. So if you have ideas, I would really value your input. Um, by the way, it's fall, y'all. This is one of the times of year where we have a lot of changes in our weather, the length of the day. There's a lot of new traffic safety issues that people may not be aware of. So we're going to focus on three that are pretty much annual campaigns. And one is from NHTSA, and it's always about impaired or drug impaired driving. The holiday season approaches, so it becomes a bigger topic. We also have fall driving tips associated with these weather changes, and then always have buckle up campaigns available. So those are three we'll focus on today. NHTSA has what's called an drug impaired campaign. And I just thought I would take a moment to remind you of how you can find these things if you don't remember. So if you wish, you can click on the oklahomachallenge.org, and I'll just go ahead and do that and remind you that this page that is under the Safe Driving Challenge, and then the button that says Oklahoma Safe Driving Challenge. When you scroll down, I just want to remind you, all your resources, we tried to put them in one place. And one thing is the planning calendar, and that comes from us. And we try to kind of categorize some of the national things that happen every year. So we're looking at November, December, and you can see there are some suggestions here. Looks like we left off fall, but there's also fall weather driving tips. And then right over here, there's links that can take you to one of these calendars. And if I click on this one, which is the 2025 NHTSA calendar, it looks like this, and it kind of goes through the months. And so we're down here in November, and right here, they're listing all of the things that they consider priority items, and they're providing resources for. So when I tell you, we're going to go to the risky driving page, that was actually, I just would have you go to the NHTSA NHTSA site, and you can go under risky driving, and all of these topics appear there. So at any time, if you focused on any of them, there they are. So I'm going to go ahead and select the drug impaired driving. You could look at drunk driving instead if you like. Here's where you could get some information if you wanted to make a poster, if you wanted to make an announcement for morning announcements. You have lots of information here. If you didn't choose that one, and instead you wanted to focus on drunk driving, you can go and do the same thing. There's lots of factual information that you can impart to people so they understand what's going on, what's considered the legal limit and what isn't, et cetera. And then they have a lot of campaigns right down here for you to use. And let me see if I can pull that up. I think I come back to that in just a minute. But if you don't know what should I post, well, there are places that they have right here where they share resources with you, so you can see what your social media campaign could be, so you can see what some posters that they've already done. But this is a good starting place, and I'm going to go back to the presentation and go forward from here. So we have a risky driving page. That's where you can pick up some information, and you can also sometimes find the links for what you need to do as far as your campaign. This was fall driving tips. I mean, the weather changed, the lights changed angles, there were different time of day, you have shadows, there's so many of them. I just did a general Google search on fall driving and driving tips, driving safety, and a really good one that came up is this one from AAA. So, I find them to be a credible source. And so if you go through here, you can find lots of things. You could make a poster again, you could do morning announcements. You could share something on social media. You just have a starting point. You follow some links. You can find stuff. But we all know we live in a place where all of these are probably real factors for us to consider. So you could focus on that and have a whole campaign on fall driving. And another example of this would be here. I did another Google search, or this appeared, and it's the National Safety Council. And they have a graphic that they share, and you could easily put that out there. It gives a few tips of things you should watch for as you shift into fall driving. So that's another example of an easy and quick campaign. And then we'd like to say that there is never a wrong time to do a buckle up campaign. Seatbelt use, Oklahoma does not enjoy high usage rates. We are lower always than the national average. Seatbelts are already installed in your vehicle. People need to make this a habit if they don't have it already. And if they do, they don't mind you reminding them because it's not an issue. But you can always do a buckle up campaign any time of the year. But a neat thing that's going on right now, didn't mean to go forward, is that the NHTSA site has a whole Thanksgiving. If you go to NHTSA, and they have a whole other site called Traffic Safety Marketing. And when you look at seatbelt safety, they share, here's just normalizing. It's called social norming, which is what you're part of when you do the Safe Driving Challenge. You are basically trying to create a culture where we just talk about traffic safety on a regular basis to just remind people, and this becomes our norm. It is unusual to not talk about it, would be that's not the norm. That's where we'd like to go. And so, as part of it, the more times you talk about seatbelt use, it just becomes normal. Buckle up every trip, every time. I like to add other words to that. I like to add every seat. But at Thanksgiving, they have some really great news releases. There's a whole playbook messaging you can associate. You can have it in English and in Spanish. The one that I really like is on, I put it in this presentation, is they saved you a seat. Let's get you there safely. So at Thanksgiving, it's about family and getting together. We really could use that as a great leverage point to do a really fast social media campaign that doesn't cost you a thing, and it's really ready to go. So wanted to share that. There's also a lot of things down here you could add to it. The social media right here, I love these because you have 99.4 chance of surviving mountain climbing, but you only have a 50% chance of surviving a crash with no seatbelt. If that's not it, you can talk about hang gliding. And I like this one. It's kind of silly, but there's the 99% chance of surviving a venomous spider bite. They just try to basically make this more accessible, maybe put a little humor in it. Easy things to do. But on top of that, those are national ones. We have some really great ones too. And so I just wanted to remind you that right now, if you look under the activities, which you'll see, I do kind of like that. We have several seatbelt campaigns as you go through here and look around. So you should definitely, we have Take 5 Before You Drive, I mentioned. We have Buckle Up Buttercup. We have several activities. I'm going to be putting a couple new ones on there, similar to the seatbelt relay race. Fun stuff that you could quickly do because it's never, ever, you can't do it enough, I guess is the best way to put it. So we'll go forward from here. I'm almost done, I promise. One of the things I really like to say is that your club, your chapter, your class, whoever it is, if you would like us to join your next meeting, we would really love that because we really think that what we're trying to get you to see and then do are really easy things. And sometimes we don't have time, or as your instructor may not have the ability to do this. And you as a teen leader maybe don't know where to get started. So we would really like to invite you to invite us to Zoom in and join one of these meetings. And we can talk through your plans with you. We can absolutely set up a completely separate meeting with that group, with just your leadership group or the whole group, with just the advisor and one student. It does not matter to us. But I really wanted to let you know that we are completely available to help you achieve your goals and make sure that you're getting your points in, because we are doing t-shirts and we plan to send those to your whole leadership team when you guys reach the 2,500 point value. And so they're going to be cool. I might have to send them out to you guys for some previewing and let you kind of vote on some things, but they're going to be cool. I really think they will be. So the last little bit I need to say is we have the December meeting already set for December 2nd at 3:30, and we have invited Brianna DeLeon, who is the leader of the trauma program and injury prevention at Integris Health. And she would like to tell you a little bit about what she can do for you, which again would count as an activity where they can come in and train you and your school members about the Stop the Bleed campaign and perhaps some other opportunities that she's going to share that day as well. So we want to make sure that if you can be there to listen to her live, it would be really great for her. So try to get some people to come to our meeting. And then we'll also be sending out a poll, kind of have these two meetings set, but someone has mentioned that 3:30 may not be the optimal time for students because they're leaving school. Maybe they have to get somewhere. So we're going to send out another poll. We did earlier before the school year got very far, but we'll send another poll out. Please vote and let us know. I don't think I'm going to move the days unless there's a huge conflict, but I could definitely move the time. But I'll send out a poll. Please participate in that. And we would start that in January, and I would notify everybody of what the changes could be. And then the last time, I asked again for student spotlight, and I'd sure love for anybody that wanted to kind of tell us something that they did where they were successful. Be really wonderful to share that. If you have any questions, you can send them out at info@oklahomachallenge.org. If you want us to join a meeting, use the same email address. We hope you're having fun, but just know that everything that you do, as small as it can be or as large as it can be, it all adds up to making changes in how students and their parents, their grandparents, their siblings, but it changes the way people drive in Oklahoma. And the end result is that we all share the roads and we can all do so just a little bit safer every day by doing these reach outs that we're all trying to do and let people know.